The thing is acting crazy. My apologies. Hold on, I'm gonna give y'all a minute to come back in. This thing here was acting a little wild and a little crazy. It cut me off in the middle of my story. So I'm gonna give y'all a second to come back in. And then I'm gonna finish that story because that story is a wild. My very first day, after much convincing, I've known people who've done it, and yeah. Like Elif was saying, people are saying you can do this, you can do that, and it's true for the most part. However, when you get some interesting characters, you know, it can play out, either which way. So back to what I was saying. So essentially, the ladies fall out. I'm going back and forth with the church brethren as to whether to call the police. One lady, I locked eyes with her. I was like, we need to call 911. She's like, she agrees. So I was like, okay, boom. Call 911. I'm telling them, hey, this is where I'm at. I'm an Uber driver. The lady fell out. This, that, and the third. In the meantime, the man is like, Hallelujah, in the name. I'm like, listen, this is not a Tyler Perry movie. Okay? Judah, it's funny now. It wasn't funny then, right? He's like, in the name of and the lady is like literally not responsive. And he is over there like, the demons. And I'm like, sir. So I'm thoroughly pissed. The ambulance is on their way, and now I'm pissed because I don't even know what you're into, who you're praying to, and what type of Bible study is this. One of your members has fallen out. I didn't feel any empathy from the crowd except for this one lady that was holding her head. I didn't feel any care. Like, how are you sitting down reading the Bible all day long? But when something real and tangible happens, you're so disconnected. The little boy with her son was crying. He was in tears. I'm the only one who went over and consoled him. I'm hugging the little boy like, oh, don't worry. It's going to be okay. At which point I'm pissed. So I start singing. This is a true story. Because like I'm done with them. Like I don't want to see you people. You people are doing the most. Real time. They picked the phone up. They didn't want to call the ambulance, but they did want to call Sister Such and Such on FaceTime so that she can pray. So they had the phone over the lady's face who was like this. They had the phone over her face, and the Sister so-and-so was like, in the name, prayer warring on the phone. If this was a Tyler Perry movie, I'm like, y'all watch too much TV. What if something would have happened to this woman, seriously, and y'all are here? Y'all are here praying wildly, and if you weren't urged, you wouldn't have called the police, the ambulance. So anywho, I start singing because I'm done with all of them, right? And I start singing loudly. Okay, hallelujah, hallelujah. I start singing hallelujah, hallelujah, and I'm pacing hallelujah, hallelujah. I'm singing and I'm pacing. I'm just saying hallelujah. All praise be to the Creator, right? So they stop. Mr. Halabalosha and little Miss FaceTime, they stop. Like, what's this? Like somebody else came in the choir and took the lead. I'm like, we're not doing this. We're not playing games. And I'm saying to the lady, hold on. Don't let go. Stay with us. Because I'm like, what in the world? Right? And so the other woman has her in her arm, like has her head up against her, because literally she was leaning on my car. Okay, so I wasn't going anywhere. And the other lady had her in her arm, and I'm just saying, stay with us, stay with us, stay with us. And I'm singing because she's not opening her eyes, she's not talking, she's not doing anything. For you to have laid out and fell on the floor, you must know something is wrong. So I'm keep on singing, and the lady saying to me, she did kind of like, motion her lip up, because I came to like close enough to her, and I was singing to her like that. And then she gestured. The lady's like, oh, she made a move. I said, you want me to keep on? She's like, she didn't want Halabalosha to keep on. She didn't want Mr. and Mrs. FaceTime rebuking demons to keep on, because what in the world? What in the world? Okay. And hallelujah, we see them lights. The lights start coming and they come out. Right. It was chaotic. So I had to kind of calm the scene a little bit and it's like, yo, bro, this is not about you. This is not showtime at the Apollo. This is not your opportunity to try out your prayer warrior vibration. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? Long story short, they came, the ambulance came, they tried to bring her to, right? They tried to communicate with her. She wasn't really communicating. Then they started talking to the son. They asked about what was her condition, if she had any pre-existing. Try to find out some backstory. She was on any medications. Long story short, they were able to take her on the gurney and take her to the hospital. And the son, because I'm like, what's going on with the son? Because now his mother's laid out and y'all have a minor, and I'm like, who's gonna go with them? I'm more concerned than these church people. And I'm looking like, what type of church people this? What, the backside? This is church? So I'm gonna give you out a little part right here. This is the preview. I didn't drop the other part yet, but here's the next little part. No, since I'm talking about it. So now I'm perplexed. I come back to the house like, what in all of creation? The very first day I transport someone in Uber, they lay out. But like I said before, the backstory is a few days earlier, I had a dream that somebody I knew fainted. Like they walked through the back door and they fainted. And I remember telling my mother, such and such fainted in my dream. I said, you got to be careful and look out. That's what I said to her. So when I had forgotten about the dream through all of the hubbaloo, right? So when I got back and I told my mother, she was like, yo, you dreamt that. I said, oh, snap. I did. But it wasn't who I saw in the dream. It was this woman, okay? So now I'm concerned. I'm like, yo, is this woman okay? Oh, no, I done threw y'all off the... See, I'm all concerned. I done threw y'all off the tripod. I'm all like, is this lady okay? What is going on? So it's on my mind, okay? The next day, the following day. So later on, I think the Tuesday, I said, let me turn this thing on, even though I was traumatized. So let me turn this thing on, and things kind of evened out a little bit. And I got a beep, and I'm like, oh, snap. Because what happens with Uber, is that you have a running log of what you've done, but you don't have the exact address once you've picked the person up or the name. But I remember the street, and I'm like, oh, snap, this is the lady. So I'm like, I'm about to take this, right? Because now she's alive. Hallelujah. I need to know what happened, because now I'm a little bit more invested in this story. Kind of like y'all are in this story time, right? I'm like, I need to know what happened. So I drives over there. And then the little boy, because one of the only person who showed him any compassion during the situation was me. So the little boy was like, it's you. And I'm like, yes, it's me. I told you everything was going to be okay. And he was all smiles. He had no little teeth. He was all smiles. He jumps in the car and the mother gets in the car. And I'm like, yo, you scared the out of me. And I was like, yo, what happened? Now I'm not talking to her like a Uber driver. I'm talking to her like, yo, bro, what in the world? So she begins to tell me, that she has some pre-existing conditions, and that she's done it happened before, and that they went to the hospital, and they're not, all of this other stuff, but she's alive, right? Before that point, I had saw like a $20 tip come in, and I'm like, a $20 tip? Where did that come from? Right? That's what the curiosity hit me the day before. So then by this day, the Most High allowed me to see her again, because I was really concerned. I'm like, yo, I got to see this woman again. I got to know what's going on with her. And then she begins to explain to me everything like that. And I have a cool conversation with her. And she explains about hospitals and, how sometimes she don't like it. I said, but lady, you fell out. And I ain't want nobody to, expire on my shift. So I had to do what it needed to be done. And that is the story. That's the last ride of the first day of me as an Uber driver. Y'all probably like, where's Amuna? Why isn't she reading narratives, right? I had to go out in this real world here and make some coins, and currently looking for another way. Because YouTube has been stressing me. I've used YouTube as a conversation and really hasn't put any monetary constraints on YouTube, because then it puts you in this box, right? But people kind of like when you go in a box. But to keep it where it's flowing, I I haven't made it where I'm like forcing the coin out of the YouTube, right? So I find other ways, creative ways to do what it is that I have to do. And this is one of them. So I have more stories. And if you have a story, whether you were an Uber rider or Uber driver or a Lyft or whatever, let me know. You can come on like LF did and share your story, because what in the world? So I will say all praises be to the creator. That was a situation that I remained calm. Okay. Uh, the people were wild. Be careful who you worship with. You look at the caliber of people. Not everybody says they know the creator or know God or really mean it. It boils down to, for me, one of the takeaways is this woman, when I saw her all like faint looking, I was thinking, I'm taking you to the hospital, right? No, I'm taking you to a Bible study where people are going to sit down and talk about the Bible. But when the opportunity to practice what you're reading presents itself, you miss it. And that's one of the things that you become so religious that you don't see the opportunity to do what the text is telling you to do. So I asked her, I was like, you were going to Bible study with them people? Like the ones that left you on the ground? You might want to rethink Bible study. You feel me? With them. I'm just saying. Let me know if you enjoyed this. I'm going to go ahead and boogie. Thank everybody for tuning in. This is wild. There's more. But wait. There's more. But everybody have a blessed day. Just talking about it is giving me flashbacks, y'all. Everybody have a blessed day. One.